Hello, Weekend Crafter! Welcome back to the Craft Time Studio. The sun finally came out today, so I got the chance to do what I wanted to do with the silver hoops that I ordered online. Initially, I ordered the hoops for casual days, but then I also thought of how cool it would be to be able to switch it up with some polymer clay. So, if this is something that interests you, I hope that you consider liking and subscribing to the Craft Time Studio. As with my other projects, I begin with just giving my mat a good clean. Now, let's bring out the materials that we will need for this project. I used 2 hues of clay, with the lighter color being scrap clay. Next, I have these curved cutters in 2 sizes. I'm also using the I in these alphabet cutters. I will also need my roller, a clay blade, and some silver foil. First, I bring out my clay roller and place the dial on the number 3 setting. Then I roll out my scrap clay. Upon inspection, I notice that there are some air bubbles trapped in between the layers of my clay. I release these bubbles with my clay blade before passing it through the roller again. If you don't do this, these bubbles will definitely show up once the pieces are baked. Next, I transfer the foil onto the scrap clay. I have to rub the foil a bit on the clay to make sure that it sticks. I then run this through the machine to get the foil to crack up a bit. Then I get my lavender clay and run it through the machine at the number 6 setting. I am going to place this onto the scrap clay, so I just make sure to cut off any excess clay. Next, I get a flower cutter and punch the shape repeatedly on the flattened slab. Then I carefully pull out the clay so that the inverse is left. I roll this onto the clay scrap clay, first manually, and then I pass it through the pasta machine. Now I use the smaller of the cutters first and then come in with the bigger cutter. I carefully lift the piece so that the shape does not get deformed. I also use the letter I cutter that will be placed at the center of the piece. Finally, I get my micro cutters to punch holes on the pieces. I punch the holes to where the pieces will attach. This now goes into the oven for baking. To attach these pieces, I open my jump rings side to side so that I don't deform the ring. Now I also want to make a pair of hoop earrings that will go with a lot of my existing clothes. I actually own a lot of pink clothes, so I thought this would be very useful for me. This time, I'm just going to use a heart cutter. First, I roll out the clay into the number 3 setting. Then, I texture it with some medium grit sandpaper before punching a heart shape. I move the pieces with the clay blade. Next, I roll out the clay again into the number 5 setting. This gets textured before it's punched into heart shapes. I want the front and back of my piece to actually be textured. To attach these hearts to the hoops, I make eye pins. For the eye pin, not to detach from the clay, you need to bend its ends. Now I attach the thinner piece to the thicker piece by using some liquid polymer clay. Sandwich the eye pin between the two pieces of clay. Then, as a final detail, I want to stamp the center with a smaller heart. I use a rubber stamp and I stamp it on mica. Now these pieces are baked. Once baked, I sand the edges. As you can see here, I also made a version with pearls. I think it really does elevate this piece. I seal the center with some satin glaze. And now, I can just change up the earrings to match whatever I'm wearing. I think these hoops are a really fun addition to my earring collection. If you found inspiration in this, I hope that you consider clicking that like button or leaving a comment. This is Ange from the Craft Time Studio. Have a crafty weekend. Bye!